Imagine you are a white wolf with immense power. Your destiny tightly intertwined with a powerful alpha. But what would you do if this alpha forcibly marked you as his mate without your consent? Would you accept this arrangement of fate? Or would you bravely resist? Chapter 20 for Melody's POV. I walked to Alec's office with my family following behind me. I'm starting to get anxious again. Where did Alec go? Is he okay? Is he talking to that rogue? Suddenly I felt someone pull me into a hug. I hug the person back. The person pulls away and I see Mason. Ash and Mason give me worried looks, so I just shake my head and try to give them a reassuring smile. My cousins look at Mr. trying to read me, but I quickly hide all my emotions. We continue walking until we reach Alec's office. I turn the doorknob slowly, my hand shaking. Then we all entered. Everyone till Ed in. We sat on the couches in Alec's office and I told them everything Alec had told me and how the entire day had turned out. Well, that's it. I say, finishing the long story. I was asked multiple times if I had left anything out in the entire time, and I would groan in frustration. My brothers and cousins pull me into a group hug. I know they're trying to be comforting, but right now all I need is to be in Alec's arms. I sigh but hug them back. Alec's POV. I walk briskly to the old pack house and down the stairs into the underground prison cells. The stairs are old, with green moss growing all over them. It's quite dark, but that's not a problem with Werewolf's sight. I walk into the rogue cell and see him chained to the walls. He's shaking his head almost as if he's trying to shake away the sleep or his fear. There's a chance he's even trying to mind link the rest of his friends and tell them to come and get him. That would be a big mistake. I growl at the thought. Matt is standing in the corner of the cell with his arms crossed and a smirk plastered on his face. I walk over to him. How long has he been awake for? I ask in a serious tone. I mind-linked you as soon as he woke up, Alpha. I nodded and walked over to the disgusting rogue who tries to harm my mate. I'm going to ask you questions, rogue, and if you refuse to answer them I will inject you with more of the silver substance. You got it, I say, looking at him in the eye. He nods his head and swallows heartily. Yes, Alpha, he replies, bowing his head in submission. I nod. Firstly, does your leader plan to attack my pack in order to look for the so-called white wolf? Why, yes, Alpha, he says, looking down at the ground. I clench my jaw. This means Melody is in danger. I need to know when they attack. I also need to prepare my pack for anything and tell them I found my mate. My eyes fog over as Caden tried to take control because of the thought of someone hurting our mate. I grit out in anger, grabbing his neck and choking him. As soon as I choke him, Matt straightens up. I'm almost positive there's steam coming out of my ears. In a month, he manages to say. My hold on his neck suddenly becomes tighter. Matt comes up to me and pulls my hand away from the rogue's neck. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilben, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Don't kill him, we need to find out more about this attack. I nod. How many rogues will be attacking my pack in 1 month? There are about 5 of us, Alpha. Looks like we won't have a problem since we have over 20 pack members. Mutters Matt. How does your leader know there's a white wolf in our pack? Asks Matt, curiously staring at the disgusting rogue in front of me. Don't know. He sent us here as a warning. I stare at him, trying to see if he's lying. Unfortunately, it looks like he's telling the truth. I feel like pulling my hair out. Rogues are after my mate. Thank the moon goddess they don't know the white wolf's hair, but still. They cross my territory and threaten to attack my pack and possibly kidnap my mate. They have another thing coming. My pack will fight to protect Melody, their Luna. How does he know the white wolf is a female? I ask, using air quotes for the word white shifter. There's a witch helping him. The witch told us it's a female. That the white shifter we have been looking for almost 10 years is a female. That's all I know, I swear. I nod. Matt and I turn to leave the underground prison. Tell everyone we have a pack meeting in the next half hour, I tell Matt through mind link. I know we're right next to each other, but this place is not soundproof and I don't really trust that rogue. Yes, Alpha, I'll tell everyone, he replies. We walk to the pack house together. I tell him to follow me into my office, though we see Melody and her family talking. She sees me and smiles. She stands up to hug me and I hug her back. I nuzzle her neck, taking in her breathtaking scent, trying to calm Caden down. She pulls away and I see those beautiful eyes filled with worry. I kiss her forehead and sit down behind my desk, pulling her onto my lap. I tell them everything that the rogue told me and that we will be having a pack meeting. I told Mel's family I wanted them there. During the time I was telling them, Matt questioned why we were telling them, and we told him that his Luna was the white shifter. Matt was shocked but also amazed to know how powerful his Luna is. Right now I'm telling my pack everything. I'm telling them that we expect to have an attack in 1 month and that we need to prepare. I said that children 16 and older will have to fight and that all women and younger children need to be in the safe house on the day. I also said that women may fight. It's entirely up to them. After all of that, I introduced Melly to the pack. We told the pack about the rogues being after her and that she's a white shifter. My entire pack was in on knowing how powerful their Luna to be was. Melody's POV. Alec told our entire pack about me. We now walk up to our room hand in hand. As soon as he closes the door, he presses me up against the wall and kisses me. When he pulls apart, he places his forehead to mine. Melody, you're going to have guards as of tomorrow, to make sure you're okay all times. I gasp and pull away from Alec. I can't believe he thinks I need people watching over me. No, Alec will have no guards. I'm perfectly capable of taking care of myself. He walks up to me and places his hand on my cheek. I know you can take care of yourself, Mel. But I need some peace of mind that when I'm not around, someone will be looking after you, making sure you're okay. No, Alec looks like he's getting really angry since I'm not obeying him. Stupid alphas who expect everyone to listen to them. Not me, I'm his mate, his equal, and I also happen to have alpha blood. In an instant he's in front of me, pushing me against the wall. His canines are out. I'm shaking with fear right now. He moves my hair out of my neck and he does something I would never expect. He marks me without my permission. Chapter 25, Melody's POV. I scream in agonizing pain as his canines bit through my neck, marking me on my sweet spot on my neck. Soon my painful screams turn into moans. All the pain I felt previously turns into pleasurable moans. Alec licks my neck to close the mark his canines have created on my neck. My eyelids feel heavy and I start feeling extremely sleepy. Next thing I know, my legs give way from underneath me, but his strong arms catch me before I fall to the ground. Alec picks me up bridal style and places me on our bed. If I had any energy, I would probably shout at him for marking me without my permission. But right now, all I can think of is sleep. My brothers can sort Alec out when I tell them what he did. Sleep tight, my beautiful Melody, he says, kissing my forehead. I sigh in content as darkness overtakes me. I feel all my worries drift away as I get pulled into the darkness I call sleep. I feel sparks ignite through my body as Alec's arms wrap themselves around my body. I tense at the sudden contact, but soon enough I calm down, enjoying the sparks. Alec pulls me closer to him and I feel millions of sparks go through me. The next morning, I wake up to someone kissing my neck. I immediately know it's Alec because of the sparks flying throughout my body. Morning, princes. I immediately pull away as the memories of yesterday come crashing down on me. Alec marked me, without my permission. Oh, he's so dead. I jump out of the bed and Alec falls face first on the floor. I race off to the bathroom to try and put as much space between Alec and I. I lock the bathroom door. I know it's not going to keep him out, but it will take him longer to break it. I look at myself in the mirror. I move my hair out of my neck and gasp at the mark that now lays on my neck. It was beautiful. Words couldn't even describe it. The mark on my neck was of a wolf. Half of its face was an actual wolf and the other was a whole bunch of patterns that made up the face of the other half. It must mean that Alec and I are both halves, but together we are a whole. As I ran my hand over my mark, I heard pounding on the door. Melody, open this damned door now. Before I break it, he doesn't sound too happy. Maybe it's safer to stay in here. Then all I see is the bathroom door being pulled off of its hinges and an angry Alec. He's so angry that his face is bloodshot red and his eyes keep shifting. He's trying to control his wolf. Kaiden, say Viola. He takes a step towards me and I take on back. This goes on until my back hits the wall and Alec cages me with his arms. I close my eyes, afraid of him and what he might do to me. I wait for something to happen. Nothing does. So slowly I open my eyes. Once my eyes are open, I come face to face with Alec, who had his eyes shut, breathing deeply. He opens his eyes, and I see that he has won control over his wolf. He puts his head in between my neck and engulfs me in a hug, taking in my scent to calm him down. I stand there like an absolute statue. Eventually he pulls away, staring at me with so many emotions. Don't you ever run away from me. I thought something happened to you. I look at the floor, feeling ashamed that I made him feel so bad. When I open the bathroom door, I see you standing there with fear in your eyes. Are you scared of me, Melody? I feel his intense stare on his eyes burning holes in me as I stare at the ground. He lifts my chin so that my brown orbs meet his and I gulp, afraid of what's to come. He stares at me tentatively. Are you afraid of me, Melody? Alec grates out and his hand tightens on my chin. I immediately pull because he's hurting my chin. I pluck up enough courage to move his hands away from me, so that he is no longer caging me. I attempt to walk away. Keyword attempt. Unfortunately, Alec gets hold on my hand and pulls me back to him, and I go crashing into his rock-hard chest. I asked you a question, he says, raising his voice. Let go, you're hurting me. That's all you've been doing since you forcefully marked me. Let go, Alec. I scream frantically, tears running down my face. I snapped at him. It's been forever since I snapped like that at anyone. Alec's face softens slightly and his grip on my arms loosens. I see regret in his eyes. He's sorry for how he hurt us, says Viola. I don't care. He hurt me, Viola, and I will deal with this the same way I dealt with others who hurt me, by ignoring them. I don't care if he's my mate, he had no right. I growl back. I yank my arms out of his grasp. Don't touch me, Alec. I can't believe what you did. I grab a pair of clothes and stalk out of his room, finding my way to Ava's. I knock on her room door lightly and wait for her to say I can come in. I walk in and tell her exactly what happened, and she gasps. I had to physically hold her down to prevent her from going after Hurtwin. I asked to take a shower in her room and thankfully she said yes. Once I had gotten done, we walked downstairs to eat some breakfast, and guess who was in the kitchen? My favorite person of the all at the moment. You guessed it, Alec. Notice my sarcasm. I saw a fruit bowl and grabbed an apple so that I could leave as soon as possible. As I left, I heard him sigh in frustration. You can't ignore him forever. You know, Viola said. Watch me. Ava followed me out of the kitchen. Hey, Mel, my car broke down a while ago, so we kinda need to take a lift with Alec, she says, scratching her neck. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilbay. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. I mutter. Sorry, Mel, she says, smiling sheepishly. I give a reassuring smile, almost to say it's fine, I'll have to face him sooner or later. The two of us get into Alec's i8. I sit with Ava at the back, trying to create some distance between us. Not long after we got into the car, Alec got into the driver's seat. I notice him putting his hands on the steering wheel and how he tightens it. He's holding it so tight that his knuckles have gone white. Before starting the car, he glances up at me through the review mirror, but I refuse to meet his gaze. The car ride to school was utterly silent. It was extremely awkward. I mean, it probably wouldn't be if Alec and I were on taking turns, but as soon as the car came to a halt, I jumped out and rushed off to my locker, sending Ava an apologetic smile before hurrying along. I let go of a breath I didn't even know I was holding once I got to my locker. What's up with you? Asks a voice from behind me. I jump up from fright. I turn around, clutching my chest, my heart beating rapidly, only to come face to face with Chris, who is smiling at me sheepishly. Sorry, Mel. Didn't mean to scare you, he says, scratching the back of his neck. I jump into his arms, hugging him. I haven't seen you in ages. I feel his chest vibrating from laughter, and I smile. Missed you to Mel. Then a loud, threatening growl is heard and I'm being pulled away from my best friend by the only person who can make me feel sparks on skin contact. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilben. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilben. Heartfelt thanks for your unfading patience, enthusiasm. Chapter 26 Melody's POV. I seriously can't believe this guy. Who does he think he is? His grip on me tightens and I squeak out of surprise. I manage to get his fingers off me, but miss the contact as soon as I do. Stupid mate bond Doug. I turn around angry. No correction, I'm beyond angry. I can't believe him right now. I glare at my so-called mate and he glares back. It's like we're having a contest to see who will blink first. Mel, what the hell is going on? Asks a confused Chris, breaking our glaring contest. Alec growls and his eyes shift as he fights for control over his wolf. He balls his fists together and his jaw clenches. Watch it. Alec seethes out, glaring at Chris, who did nothing. I decide to add into the conversation. No, you watch it. I snap. His head turns to face me. Shock written all over his features. I look at Chris to see his mouth agape from shock. Does my best friend honestly think I'm scared of this thing in front of me? No, he's wrong. I'm not scared of him. I'm pissed with him. This but face marked me without my permission. I still can't believe him. What? Alec says in confusion. Watch yourself, because my best friend has every right to hug me. This is your best friend. Why couldn't you be best friends with a girl like ordinary teenage girls? He asks, frustrated, dragging a hand over his face. Maybe because I've known Chris my entire life. Plus you have no right to question me. I'm still pissed with you. Plus who said I was ordinary? Only then did I realize the crowd starting to form, watching us argue like losers without any ifs. But then again, that is what they are. Melody, stay out of this. This is between me and this unmated wolf who hugged what's mine. Alec screams, his eyes shifting. Chris immediately pulls me behind him when he notices Alec fighting for control of his wolf. This unmated wolf has every right to hug me. Before you found me, my brothers tried to get my guards for protection. I refused to have anyone near me, so my brothers appointed Chris as my guard. He's protected me for as long as I can remember, so I don't care what you have to say. He's also always there when I need him, and he's one if the only people I actually trust. I growl in anger, using air quotes for unmated. Alec wins control and his eyes soften slightly. Before he can reply, a rat school building. I used my werewolf speed and raced over to my brother's house. Being a white wolf, I'm a lot faster than even alpha. Plus having alpha blood also adds to how fast I am. Once I got outside the house, I opened the door. Knowing the boys are home, as if sensing me, they all come to the front door. Confusion written on all their faces. Nell, what's wrong? Asks a worried Chase. I don't answer and head over to the garage and get into one of the cars I own, my red Bugatti Veyron, and raced off to my spot. Living with 10 boys, I learned how to drive at a young age, them thinking it would be fun. After learning how to drive, Grayson and Xander taught me basic race moves. I caught on pretty quick, considering I love speed. I've actually gotten many driving tickets for speeding. My cousins used to tease me before I got into the car about my driving. My lips twitch upwards at those memories. The spot is where I go to clear my head after F-rights, generally. I haven't been here in a while since there's been no time. I found this spot just days after we moved here and I love it. It's such a beautiful place. I mean, there's a great view of the ocean. There's a big rock that faces the calming waves. And watching the sunset here is incredible. There's also a big old willow tree where I sit under when I feel like sketching here. I love it here since it's so calm, and it makes it easy to clear your mind of so many things. I even come here to write some songs for concerts. Which reminds me, I haven't had a concert in a while. I should probably phone my manager and get him to organize one. It will help relieve some stress and anxiety. I sit on the rock and stare at the beautiful scenery. I breathe in, closing my eyes, and exhale deeply. I open my eyes and sigh in content, and think back to all the events that have happened in such a short amount of time. I mean, the attack, us moving here, fresh start, new high school, finding my mate, running from him and him marking me without my permission, up until this very moment. I wish my life wasn't this crazy and dramatic. But then again, I'm not always going to remember the easy things in life. I'm going to remember all the difficulties. and what lesson each difficulty taught me, and how that shaped who I am today. I remember my mom telling me one day that life is not all sunshine and rainbows. She said it gets harder as we grow up, that we always have good and bad moments. It's the bad that actually affect who we are, since how we deal with those bad moments make us who we are. I didn't even notice the silent tears falling down my face. Using my palms I wiped my now-soaked cheeks. "Mommy, Daddy, why did you leave me, why?" I whispered, breaking out into full-on crying. It's not fair, they were good, great people, but they died. I would do anything for a comforting hug from either of them, whispering in my ear, telling me everything is all right and I'll always be there. After crying for almost half an hour, I stop and wipe my face with the arms of my shirt. I stare into nothingness for a while, owning out of the misery that's my life. When I finally snapped out of my daze, I pulled out my phone. The time read to peer. I've been gone for almost 4 hours. I unlocked my phone only to see 1536 missed calls and 2189 messages on my phone. Oh shit. I'm in so much trouble when I get back. I wonder what would happen if I were to unlock my mind link with everyone. I'd probably be bombarded with questions. I shrug my shoulders and stand up, stretching. Just then my tummy grumbles. I chuckle, patting my belly, and decide to order some food before going back. I get in my car and drive off to some fast food takeout. I felt like some McDonald's, so that's what I bought. I sit in the car and eat before driving off to my brother's house. No way in hell am I going to Alec's house now, not after everything he did. Chapter 27, Melody's POV. I turn the doorknob only to find it locked. I stare at it confused. They never ever lock the front door. I sigh and shake my head. I grab my bag and search for the keys in it. Luckily they gave me a spare key in case I ever needed it to get. Their words, not mine. I turn the doorknob and enter the house. Just as I enter the house, 2 pretty girls around my age run up to me frantically. They are both brunettes, both human brunettes. They both have brown eyes. Their hair is both at a medium length. The one looks really quiet and shy and the other looks a lot more talkative and outgoing. The more talkative one's hair was dip-dyed at arc pink, purple cut. "Help us, please," screams the one with dip-dyed hair, breathing heavily. I give her a confused look. "Why? What's wrong?" "Now before you tell me, please sit down, both of you, and calm down." She sits down hesitantly, her friend beside her looking scared. They sit on the couch in the living room. She looked down at her lap and started fidgeting with her fingers. The quiet one of the two hasn't spoken a word yet. "Before you tell me what happened, can you please tell me your names and ages?" I ask them in a friendly way. They look at me funny, like they're trying to figure out if I mean harm. Eventually the one with the dip-dyed hair sighs in defeat. I send them a friendly smile. "My name is Melody and I'm 18. I say, stretching my hand out to them. "Mine's Riley and both of us are 18 as well," says the one with dip-dyed hair. I mean Riley, shaking my hand with a bright smile. "Mine's Emma," whispers the girl next to her shyly. I smile at Emma. "Now will one of you please tell me what's wrong and why you need my help?" "We were kidnapped by 10 guys, please help us," Riley says, throwing her hands in the air. I stare at her, then shout. I can't believe them. They have got to be kidding. They do know kidnapping is wrong and they can go to jail for it, right? "Where's the fire?" screamed Austin, and I face palmed. All of us, meaning my 8 cousins, look at him, each give him the really look. "Mel, you're okay," they say, engulfing me in a bone-crushing hug. "Let go," I grit out, sounding pissed. They look at me shocked but do as I say. They step back and I stand facing them, looking as pissed as ever. My arms are crossed and I'm tapping my foot on the floor. "Someone better tell me why the hell you kidnapped the inconstant girls. Also, where are my 2 idiotic brothers?" I ask in rage. "How do you know we are innocent?" asks Riley, standing up, and Emma stares at her wide-eyed. At the moment, Emma kinda reminds me of a fish because she opens and closes her mouth. Shut up, Riley, whisper, yells Emma, yanking her back onto the couch. Riley hisses at Emma but listens and keeps her mouth. I tap my foot louder, waiting for a reply from the 8 stupids in front of me. They exchange glances, as if I didn't see that. Cue the eye rolls and dramatic hair flip. Just as Liam is about to answer my question, the front door slams closed. I quickly make my way to the door. only to come face to face with two very stressed brothers, Ash and Maze. Thank God, Mel, they both say. Before they finish their sentence, I yank both of them by the ear and drag them into the living room. I drag them to where they guys are and let go of their ears. And go back, so standing in front of them, with arms crossed and foot tapping on the floor. What the fuck, Melody? Screams a pissed off Ashton, rubbing his ear. What did I ever do to you, sis? I know Ash is a terrible brother, but me, says Maze Mason with mock hurt. Then he smirks. All I do is roll my beautiful eyes. Explain, I say with a stern voice, pointing at Riley and Emma. Oh, that. You see, Maze stutters. We kidnapped them, answers Alec nonchalantly, looking down at his nails. I can see that you more on, I say, rolling my eyes. Why do you kidnap us? What we ever do to you? Asks a frustrated Riley, pulling her brown, purple hair. They're our mates, Mel. Mutters a guilty looking Maze. What? You heard him, Melody, says an annoyed Ash. I stare at the 10 of them wide-eyed. Okay, this is not the best situation. Why would you want to meet your mate like this? Pick, if Alec had to kidnap me, I would have killed him. Mate or not. No, you wouldn't. I wouldn't let you. Oh, shut, Iola. I still have a room upstairs, right? They nod. Great. I walk over to Emma and Riley and grab their arms and drag them into my room. Well, old room. We enter the room and I lock the door. Probably won't keep 10 werewolves out, but whatever. I tell them to take a seat. This is going to be a long conversation. Let's hope they take it well. Okay, let's get this over with, I say, sighing softly. OMG, as exclaims an excited Riley. Can you believe it, Emma? We made it to sexy werewolf. I see Emma visibly pale and swallow hard. She turns to me with frightened eyes. Firstly, you called my older overprotective brother sexy. Gross. Secondly, Emma, you have nothing to worry about. Ash and Maze will treat you both well, and if they don't, I'll deal with them, I say, sitting down next to Emma. I'm scared, says Emma below a whisper. It's okay to be, but both my brothers have always dreamt about having mates. They would always talk about how they would do anything to make her happy and protect her with their lives. They'll take care of you and love you. That's all they want to do, I say, giving Emma a side hug. Riley joins in on the hug, turning it into a group hug. Don't worry, Iman, if they give us any problems, we'll kick their werewolf butts, says Riley, winking at Emma. I roll my eyes and the 3 of us burst out laughing. I like them, they'll be amazing for the pack. So I spent the last 2 hours telling them about werewolves and mates. Now we are walking downstairs to tell the boys they know about our world. We get to the last step and stop as the boys are all looking at us. Relief takes over Ashton and Mason's faces. Ash walks up to Emma and hugs her. Maze does the same to Riley. Oh, why, Ko-Oe, you guys are so cute. Emma turns bright red and hides her face in Ashton's shoulder, making him chuckle, whereas Riley smirks at me and sends me a wink. You know it, girl. The 2 of us burst out laughing. Enthusiasm, I'm totally gonna miss them when I'm home. By home, I mean Alec's back house. I wipe the imaginary tears away once I've cooled down a bit. We guys, I should probably get going. Mel, you're not gonna tell us why you came here, stole a car and went missing for a couple of hours? Asks a curious Xander. Nope. Not gonna say. And by the way, I didn't steal the car, it belongs to me. It was my 16th birthday present, remember? Everyone nods except Emma. Her face still hidden in Ash's shoulder. I turn the front door only to come face to face with. Drum roll, please. You guessed it. The one person I can't even leave and look in the eye right now. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilben. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. I hate my life. Chapter 28. Melody's POV. I stare wide-eyed at Alec as relief crossed over his face. And he pulls me into a hug. He nuzzles my neck. To say I am shocked is an understatement. Instead of hugging my mate back, I pull away. I attempt to walk away, but unfortunately for me, he gets a hold of my wrist. I try and yank it out of his grasp, but his grip only tightens. I stare at my almost blue wrist. I try wiggling out of his death grip only for him to tighten it again. Stop, you're hurting me. Instead of listening to me, he tries to pull me closer to him, and I notice his eyes shift over to black. His wolf is in control. Oh no, not again. Last this happened, he forcefully marked me. Maze grabs hold of my other arm and pulls me to him. Ash stands in front of me with a pissed off look. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Nilben, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Then I swear everything just happened so fast, I almost missed it. My cousins grab Alec and hold him to the wall. Grayson takes a hold of Alec's right arm and under his left arm. Austin and Liam grab a leg each. Hunter pushes Alec's chest down, keeping him glued to the wall. Dylan grabs Alec's neck and keeps it roughly. Jace yanks Alec's hair, making his head come up. While 7 out of my 8 cousins mount my mate to the wall, Jace stands protectively in front of Riley and Emma, their future Luna and beta female. Mason hugs me and I sob in his chest. My sobs grow louder until I'm too drained mentally and physically to cry anymore. Maze pulls away and kisses my forehead and wipes my tears away. Come on sis, no big brother likes to see his little sister cry, says Maze. I smile weakly at his attempt to make me feel better. There's that smile, Maze says, smiling fondling at me. I hug him again, this time not crying. Then a loud threatening growl is heard. Guess who growled? I bet you'll never figure it out. Just joking, me being my sarcastic self. Yep, you guessed it, that growl came from my oh so fantastically great mate. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Nilben, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Chew, I roll. Let go of what's mine now. Alec booms. He's trying to break free from the tight hold my cousins have on him. Not until you gain control from your wolf, Alec, and apologize to my sister for hurting her, shouts Ash, unmatching Alec's threatening tone. The girls cower back behind Jace. They look terrified at my mate and Ash. I feel bad right now because they are fighting because of me. Maybe it was a bad idea to come here. Watch it, Alpha Ashton, my pecker strong enough to wipe yours out. Me and my mate are none of your concern. Alec replies, spitting out the word alpha. Alec has lost it. There's no way he could think doing that would make things better. And if he does, then he loses me, because he would have terminated not only my old pack but my family too. I believe Alec has lost all control he had and Caden has taken control. Alec, try and regain control before your wolf does something you'll regret later, says Maze, letting go of me and walking towards Alec. Mel, why are you and Alec fighting? Don't deny that you aren't fighting, cause otherwise this wouldn't be happening, says Ash. Mark 10 me. I managed to mumble. Shouts all 10 of them. I marked her, says Caden. They take their attention off me and back onto him. Riley. Emma, would you please take my sister upstairs? I want none of you to see what's about to happen, says Maze, cracking his knuckles. But, Riley says, then Emma cuts her off. But nothing, Riley, don't get on a werewolf's bad side. They could probably kill us with the snap of their fingers. Whisper, yells Emma. I turn to Ash and notice his eyes soften slightly as he notices how scared his mate is. We will never hurt you two, mumbles Ash to Riley and Emma. Emma and Riley just look at each other, sharing that look. Then Emma grabs my upper arm and pulls me upstairs. When we get to the top of the staircase, I hear Riley say, if you need us, we'll be in Mel's old room. Knock before coming in. Then she sprints up the stairs. I almost feel like laughing. She grabs a hold of my other arm and they drag me into my old room, joy. As soon as we enter the room, I break down and full-on cry, letting all my tears flow. Riley and Nut try and calm me down, but nothing helps. So eventually they give up and hug me instead, telling me everything is all right and that my mate doesn't deserve me. Then all of a sudden I feel excruciating pain throughout my entire body. I scream in agony. I start crying harder, unable to control the pain. My screams grow louder. Riley, stay here with Mel. I'm going to go tell the guy something is up, Emma says quietly but with authority in her voice. She turns to the door, ready to leave. Emma, I call, more like struggle to call. Yes, she says, turning around facing me once more. You'll make an amazing Luna, I say, smiling weakly. She smiles back, then hurries downstairs. To my agent extraordinaire, Milben, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. I scream louder than ever, pain taking over my entire body, making it hard to even breathe. Ashton's POV. As soon as the girls are upstairs, I turn to Alec. "You son of a bitch," I exclaim, smacking him across the face. Before I can throw another punch or even hit him, Mace pulls me back. If Mace didn't do that, I would have probably knocked him unconscious. "Why'd you mark our little sis without her permission?" Our cousins in the room close their eyes at the sight of Mason shouting. Since between the three of us and the one with the tiniest temper, Maze is the reasonable one and Mel is the caring one. So Maze hardly ever shouts. Alec just stares at Maze like he's an idiot. We wait for about 5 minutes, waiting for him to reply, but he stays quiet, refusing to ask any more questions. Maze and I beat him up, while our cousins hold him back. We start to hear screams but ignore them since we believe it's our imagination running wild. Then my beautiful mate runs down the stairs with a worried expression. I immediately let go of Alec's head, being in the middle of me punching him square in the jaw, and walk over to my mate. I immediately wrap my arms around her. "What's wrong?" I ask my now blood-red mate. "Oh, wow, she's so adorable." "Mel," she says, swallowing hard. She notices a beaten up Alec and cringes. "What about Mel?" Maze asks from behind me. She started screaming. "We don't know what's wrong, but she keeps complaining about pain. We don't know what to do," she exclaims. Then it hits us. Their mate bonds. She can feel all of his pain. He marked her screams still and through our family mind link. "Tell us something we don't know," idiot remarks Grayson. "He means he marked her so she can feel all of his pain just like he can feel hers," says Jace with worry evident in his voice. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Milben, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm, screams Alec. Then his eyes shift and we know his mind linking someone. His facial expressions changes even more now. Shit, he curses. "What?" asks Ander. "The rogues have just declared war, wanting to do everything in their power to get their hand on the white shifter." He grits out with a clenched jaw. Melody. Chapter 29. Alec's POV. Melody's family finally let me go when I race up to her old bedroom. When I got there, I see my mate's head on a human with purple highlights in her hair's lap. She keeps whimpering and there are tears rolling down her beautiful face. I suddenly struggle to breathe seeing my Melody like that. She deserves to be happy always. To always have a bright smile on her face that could instantly make my day. Right now I'd do anything to make her happy and so that she'd forgive me. I finally come back to reality and see the human looking at me with wide, fearful eyes. I give her a stiff smile, almost telling her I mean no harm. I hurriedly walk into the room that still contains my mate's addictive scent. I breathe it in, trying to calm my nerves as well as my wolf, who has now become restless and extremely worried. I get to Melody and gently pick her up bridal style. I make sure I don't hurt her. I've caused her enough pain already. Melody. Her eyes flutter open, and she gives me a very weak smile. "I'm so sorry. I'm such a terrible mate. I should never have done any of those things to you. I've hurt you in so many ways I don't know how you'll ever forgive me. But I swear if you give me another chance I'll make it up to you. Because all I want to do is make you happy for the rest of your life. Because you've already made me the luckiest man just by being my mate. I'm so sorry," I say, turning my head so that I'm no longer looking at her. I honestly don't deserve forgiveness. She's too good for me. I feel a tiny hand grab my chin and move it. I know it's Melody's due to the sparks that fly through my face. "I forgive you," she says, pecking my lips. Then she leans in and puts our foreheads together. She's breathing heavily due to the pain she felt through our mate bond. I breathe in her scent as she breathes in mine. I'm so shocked. I don't know whether to smile from joy or to break down into happy tears at this point. So I engulf her in a hug. Knowing she's still in pain, I use one arm to secure her legs around my waist and my other arm hugs her fragile body. Or www, we hear someone coo in the background, and we instantly pull away from the hug. We both turn only to see the girl who had my mate's head on her lap. She smiles sheepishly at us and I nod in response. But Melody hides her now crimson face in the crook of my neck. I readjust the way I am carrying her back to bridal style with her head still in my neck and I head downstairs. I get to her old room's doorframe and turn to the girl in the room. You might want to come downstairs now. She nods and follows me down the stairs. All of a sudden the silence is replaced with her humming to a song I don't know. We reach the end of the stairs and Mason immediately wraps an arms around the girl's waist from behind her. Melody's family all growl at me, giving me a lethal growl as if telling me to try anything. Then I hear soft snoring and notice my Mel asleep in my arms. I nuzzle her nose. You aren't taking her anywhere. There's a pissed off Ashton standing protectively in front of his mate. I don't plan on. I reply without taking my eyes off my sleeping mate. I eventually look up only to meet everyone's confused gazes. I'm not taking her into my pack territory. I whispered. Why, asked Grayson. Because the rogues have launched an attack on my pack looking for a white shifter. Your sister being the white shifter, she's not safe on my territory. They have not launched an attack on your pack, Ashton. Do you see where I'm going, or do I need to spell it out for you? So you want Mel to stay with us for protection purposes? Asks Ashton with a raised brow. Yes, I hate being away from her, but she's safer here. Are you sure about this? Asks Dylan. I'm an alpha. I need to protect my pack and my mate. I can't do both while I know they're after my mate. I know she's safe here because you're her family and you've always protected her. So are you just gonna leave her here? Asks Mason. I'd love to stay until she wakes up, but my pack is under attack and as the alpha it's my duty to stand with my pack and fight. You have our warriors if you need them, says Ash. No, I don't want the rogues to know you are involved in this. It's safer for now that way. They all nod. I sigh. I guess it's time for me to leave. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet, but I will kill their leader. Just so that my Mel is safe once more. I hope she doesn't hate me for leaving without saying goodbye. I sigh, staring affectionately at her. I peck her lips. Give her to me, says Ander. I nod briefly and hand her over. If he wasn't her cousin, he wouldn't be allowed to touch her. Please tell her to stay here for her protection, and that I'll come get her once all of this is over. I tell no one in particular. I kiss her forehead, then head in the direction of the door. Before I turn the doorknob, I say, promise me you'll protect her, and I'll promise to never hurt her like that again. We'll protect Mel like we always have. And we'll keep our part of the deal as long as you keep yours, says Jace seriously. I nod before giving Mel one last glance, then disappearing into the road. Once I'm outside, I shift into my black wolf and run to my pack. To fight for everyone I hold dear and love, especially my Mel. To protect those who look up to me as their leader. I promise I'll make it up to you as soon as this mess is over. Once you're safe and in my arms where you belong, my sweet Melody. Chapter 30, Melody's POV. I woke up with an uneasy feeling and my neck, well actually my heart tingling. I soon realized I wasn't in Alec and I's room, so I frantically looked for something that could tell me where I am. My head searching all directions of the room, unable to find anything. Just as I'm about to give up, I notice a picture on the wall in front of me. Ugh, I'm so stupid. I'm in my old house in my old room. A smile makes its way onto my face as I look at the picture. It's a family picture of me and the guys. I feel my eyes begin to water. That picture was taken the day before my parents died. I didn't know I was crying until a hand found its way onto my face and rubbed the tears away. I couldn't keep my emotions under control and burst into tears. The person pulled me closer to their body, engulfing me into a bone-crushing hug. I realized who it was due to the smell of his scent and because I knew that voice too well. It was my big brother. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Noban. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. The same brother who used to sing with me and would do anything to make me feel better and put a smile on my face. The same brother who has killed thousands to protect his family and pack. Mel, you know I can't help you if you don't tell me what's wrong, he says gently. I wipe my now soaked face with the sleeves of my clothing. I close my eyes and breathe in, trying to calm my racing heart. Breathe, Melody. Breathe. Then suddenly the memories of yesterday come crashing down. Alec apologized and I forgave him. But if I forgave him, then what am I doing here? Ash must have noticed my confused expression since he caught my attention and broke my train of thought. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Nelbe. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. He stutters out. To my agent extraordinaire, webnovel. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. I feel my anxiety rise. This can't be good. Ash is never, I repeat, never nervous. I mean, his freaking alpha nervousness is not a word in his vocabulary. To my agent extraordinaire, webnovel. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. He what, Ash? Spit it out, you're going to give me an anxiety attack. I snap with glowing white eyes. Ash visibly gulps. You see, when my eyes shift white, it means my wolf is now in control. And Viola is not happy. I managed to gain control from Viola. Sorry, Ash. Viola kinda took over. I say sheepishly. Ash nods. What about Alec? I ask, worry for my mate's safety. He left last night because rogues declared war on his pack, just so that they could find the White Shifter. And Alec told us to keep you in our pack territory and to protect you. Oh, he also said he will never ever hurt you the way he did again. Ash says really fast, I almost didn't get it. He growls at the last thing he said. Still not happy his little sister was marked forcibly by her mate. I roll my eyes at him. Then I turn serious. How long has the pack been fighting for? No reply. To my agent extraordinaire, webnovel. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Since last night. I immediately stand up. If they mess with my pack, they mess with me. I'm done running from two bastards who ruined my life. I'm the Luna of the Moon pack, the strongest pack, and this time around I refuse to hide and let the people I care about get hurt. I won't lose more important people in my life again. I'm the Luna, who happens to have a few tricks up her sleeve. I smirk heavily. I head in the direction of my old room door, but a hand grabs my wrist and pulls in the opposite direction of where I want to go. I growl in frustration. What do you think you're doing? Asks Ashton with a raised eyebrow. Ending this once and for all. I say, pulling my hand out of his grasp and hurrying downstairs. Chapter 31, Ashton's POV. Ending this once and for all. Mel says, pulling out of my hold and speeding downstairs like she's on freaking fire. Ending what? I mutters, clearly confused. What the fuck is Melody planning on ending? Shit. She can't mean. Alec's POV. I bite down on the neck of a rogue who stupidly thought nothing would happen to him if he stepped on my territory. Then I sink my canines deeper into his neck. I hear him howl in pain. Then I snapped his neck, killing him instantly. I threw the lifeless body out of my mouth. Then the dead person in front of me shifts back into human form. Dead, obviously. All my pack members old enough to fight are currently out on the battlefield fighting for their families, their mates, loved ones, and their Luna. My pack and I have been fighting since last night. No one has had any rest. But these rogues are not as strong as they make themselves out to be. I've given Caden control of me since I can't focus on anything. My main focus is Melody, and no matter how many times I tell myself I'm doing this for her it's like I can't focus mentally or physically without her near me. I was struggling to think straight, so I gave him control, knowing that he would do what was needed to be done. The sun came up almost 2 hours ago and we're still fighting. Like I said, we've been fighting since last night, but no one has seen any sign of their leader. Thinking about him makes me growl. A small wolf tries to jump onto my back and sink his canines into my neck, but he fails. Because my beta met jumps and crashes into him, knocking him into a tree, and the small wolf lay there unconscious. I nod and mad, and he howls in response. 3 hours have gone by and my pack is still under attack. There is no sign of the rogue leader. Little coward probably didn't bother showing, but got people to do his dirty work for him. I think the moon goddess that my pack is currently winning. But then again, that could change at any second. Just then, almost 800 more rogues wolves join the fight. The rogues all led by one rogue in particular. A brown wolf with a scar over his eye. Surprisingly, the wolf is average size. He looks smaller than me, but his fur is beyond covered on claw marks. We make eye contact and a loud menacing growl escapes my mouth. He gives me a wolfish smirk in return, making me glare at him. I send him daggers as if challenging him to continue with this. Him and I circle each other. We're basically having a stare down. We circle each other looking for any sign of weakness. Then I noticed how he hides his left paw. Looks like we found a weakness on him already, says Caden with a wolfish grin. Don't get too cocky, the tables might turn. Buzzkill. Caden rolls his eyes. All around me my pack is fighting. Harder than earlier. We're using more strength and we are all starting to get tired. The rogues almost outnumber us. But I won't let my pack fall. I notice multiple warriors and pack members snapping rogues' necks without hesitation. All you see is red. Not because you're angry red, no. Red bloodshed over every ounce of brown soil of the once green tree shrubs. And a land filled with lifeless bodies of those who are now gone. I noticed that I know almost none of the men laying around in the red metallic substance. Meaning so far we have had little deaths. I bring my attention back to the filthy rogue in front of me. He extends his canines, threatening me. I snarl, so should I say Katie snarls in return, not liking the time. We're getting no respect. No matter what, I'm still an alpha. Dumb rogue. Do you honestly think you have what it takes to kill an alpha? Let's see. We continue to walking in circles, circling each other. This goes on for almost 10 minutes, much to my dismay. The brown wolf lunges at me and tries to attack, but I use my right paw to scratch him in his already scared eye. His wolf street rumbles back in shock of what I've just done, then he looks up to the sky and howls. It's not a powerful howl or a calling for help, it's a howl filled with pain. Then he turns to me and snarls. I mentally smirk. Looks like I know how to piss you off. Great. He continues to lunge at me and I just dodge his every move. It's almost like he thought he could come here and I would go easy on him. Like I have trained my entire life. It seems as though he didn't even train for this battle. He's probably only the brains behind the situation. He keeps growling in frustration because I easily dodge his every move. Just then 2 wolves come running past me, blocking my view of the bastard in front of me who is after my mate. The damn bastard decides to take advantage of this and lunges at me, landing on my back, bringing me down to the floor. But then at that very moment I hear the most powerful howl ever. It holds power and strength as well as grace, if that's even possible. In the brink of it, either wolf is no longer on top of me but laying on the ground in pain. The same thing that got the rogue off of me stares down at me, like it's telling me to get up, and I do. Then together we howl, threatening anyone to come near us. Chapter 32. Alec's POV. We howled together for the first time. For the first time since I met her. I finally get to see her wolf. Her white wolf. Beautiful and delicate just like her. She stares at me. Then she asks through mind link. Are you okay? Better now that you're here. She gives me a wolfish smile and nuzzles my neck. I inhale her scent, trying to calm myself and also to give me the strength to go on. I'm fighting for her and our pack. I remind myself. She playfully licks my nose. Then a loud snarl is heard and we whip our heads in that direction. It had obviously caught our attention. He leaps up at us and Melody closes her eyes and the ground lifts in front of us, creating a wall. He leaps into the wall and we hear a loud bang from the impact. Then the wall made of the ground, the soil descends back into the earth where it once was. And the wolf lays on the floor unconscious. Mel and I circle him, growling. He gets up, shakes his head and growls at Mel, looking straight at her, making my blood boil. Nobody looks at my mate like that. I growl and snarl, then lunge at him. My mouth makes contact with his back and I bite down hard, locking my jaw. He howls in pain, while I mentally smirk. He got what he deserved. His body begins to go limp, but not completely. Then I noticed 5 wolves surrounding Mel. I let go of him and help her. Then together the 2 of us help the rest of our pack, forgetting about their leader who is after my Melody. Melody's POV. Alec and I just finished helping the rest of the pack. Thank the moon goddess that no one is seriously injured and we've had no deaths, I think. Alec and I haven't really had a chance to speak thanks to the fight happening now. But I haven't seen any of our pack members dead. Then out of nowhere a wolf jumps onto my back and sinks his canines into my back. I howl out in pain, every inch of my body going numb. That's how bad the pain is. Alec immediately comes to my rescue and pulls the wolf off of me, then stands protectively over me, daring the wolf to come any closer. I lay with my snout on the floor feeling limp and my eyelids heavy. The last things I remember were Matt and Eric jumping onto the wolf's back and biting him. Then seeing the wolf unconscious again. Then Alec shifts back into human form, standing without clothes in front of me. He orders his beta and third to take the wolf down to the underground prison. Then he gently lifts me up and tells me to stay awake. But I can't. Darkness consumes me and I welcome it. The last thing I hear. Melody. Princess, don't close your eyes. Please just don't. Then I find myself in a peaceful slumber. And for the first time since my parents died, I didn't have a nightmare. I had a dream instead. Alex POV, keep your eyes open, princess. I scream, becoming frustrated. I run with Mel in my arms. I run all the way to the pack hospital but without clothes. What? I had other things to worry about like my unconscious mate. Please wake up, Mel. I whisper. Her body lay limp in my arms. I bring her closer to my chest. I missed her. Although we were apart for less than a day. I missed her. I honestly can't imagine a life without her or bear a day without her. Finally, I get to the hospital. It's crowded with all injured pack members. I run in carrying my unconscious mate hoping she's okay. Drive Wilson. I call the doctor with Alpha Tone commanding him to come to help me. I'm not gonna let my mate die. I won't be able to live a day without her. Alpha, what happened? He asks, bowing his head in respect. And handing me a shorts. During the fight, a wolf, their leader, jumped onto her back and bit her. I managed to get him off but she fell unconscious. I see she. He asks with a confused expression and raised eyebrows. Yes, she is the white wolf I hold in my arms. Who also happens to be your Luna. Oh, Moon Goddess, help me if anything happens to her. You'll have to deal with a very pissed off Alpha. No, but you haven't even introduced her to the pact. I wasn't even aware that you had found your mate. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilban. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Well, now you know, so help her, damn it. Of course, Alpha. Now Samily and Marissa, help me with her, please. I growl out at the disrespect he shows towards my mate. No, Samily and Marissa bring a stretcher and they stare at me expectantly. What? Alpha, you kinda need to put the Luna on the stretcher so that we can help her, says Marissa. I stare at the middle-aged women in front of me. Her tone gentle but also with no room to complain. She smiles warmly at me as if saying that everything will be fine. Hesitantly I put Mel on the stretcher and they start rolling her further into the hospital. I follow, obviously I mean that's my mate. We end up outside what appears to be a surgery room and stop. Alpha, I'm afraid you can't inside the room with her. I understand that she's your mate and our Luna, so I can assure you we'll do everything in our power to make sure she's okay. But in order to do that I'm gonna need you to stand outside in the waiting area, says Marissa. Knowing there's no room for argument, I nod my head. Walk towards the stretcher and kiss Mel on her wolf's forehead. I stare at her, she's just as beautiful in wolf form as she is in human form. Then I step aside so that they can take her into the surgery room. I feel Caden getting angry. They're going to help her, KD. If we don't let them, she might die. I know, and it's our fault. If we hadn't taken our eyes off of her for 1 second, she'd be fine. I sigh heavily and don't reply, knowing he's right. Now to tell her brothers and cousins. What happened? I think walking toward the waiting room and unking myself onto a plastic chair. Mason's POV, Ashley's not answer. Ring, ring, ring. Everyone's attention turns towards Ashton as he pulls out his phone from his pocket. A known number. He mumbles. Hello, how did you get my phone number? What? We are on our way. Ash yells into the phone. Ash grabs Emma's hand and pulls her in the direction of the garage. I put my arm out and Riley puts her hand in mine and we follow that along with the guys. Ash, what's wrong? Asks Liam. Ash ignores him and frantically searches for his car keys. I bet you it's in his pocket. Austin Rise asking him what's wrong, but he ignores him as well. All of them look at me expectantly. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilban. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. I say using alpha tone. I may be a beta, but I have alpha blood. Also in the inside of our pack we're regarded as equals, so yeah. That catches his attention. What the hell is wrong with you? I shout. Mel, he says, and his face pales slightly. Everyone immediately gets into a car and we follow Ash to wherever. Hang on, Lil, sis, we're on our way. I just hope we're not too late. As if sensing my distress, Riley grabs hold of my one hand and I entwines our fingers, calming my nerves slightly. Please be alive, Melody. We can't fail Mom and Dad's request to keep you safe forever and always, regardless of whether your mate is in another pack.